Welcome back everyone. Today we are going to start chapter 8, Winds, Storms and Cyclones. Orissa was hit by a cyclone with wind speed of 200 km per hour on 18 October 1999. The cyclone smashed 45,000 houses, making 7 lakh people homeless. So it was a very large hit by a cyclone with a speed of 200 km per hour, in which 45,000 houses were destroyed and 7 lakh people were made homeless. On 29th October the same year, a second cyclone with wind speed of 260 km per hour hit Orissa again. It was accompanied by water waves about 9 meter high. Thousands of people lost their lives. Property worth crores of rupees was destroyed. The cyclone affected agriculture, transport, communication and electricity supply. So this is the image taken by the satellite of the cyclone approaching the Odisha state. So it was made available by Indian Meteorological Department. But what are cyclones? How are they formed? Why are they so destructive? In this chapter, we shall seek answer to some of these questions. We begin with some activities involving air. These activities will clarify some basic features concerning a cyclone. Before we begin, remember that the moving air is called the wind. Activity 8.1. Whenever an activity involves heating, be very careful. It is advised that such activities are performed in the presence of an elderly person from your family, or carry out these activities in the presence of your teacher. You need to boil water in the following activity. Take a tin can with a lid. So you have to take a tin can which have a lid. Fill it approximately half with water. Heat the can on a candle flame till the water boils. So you have to boil it with a candle flame. Let the water boil for a few minutes. Boil out the candle. Blow out the candle. Immediately put the lid tightly on the can. Be careful in handling the hot can. Put the can carefully in a shallow metallic vessel or a wash basin. Pour fresh water over the can. What happens to the shape of the can? So you can see here, you have boiled the water in the can, you close the lid, and when you put fresh water, the shape of the can will be changed. Can you guess why the shape of the can gets distorted? If you cannot get a tin can, take a soft plastic bottle. Fill it with hot water, empty the bottle and immediately cap it tightly. Place the bottle under running water. Recall now some of your experiences. When you fly a kite, does the wind coming from your back help? No. If you are in a boat, is it easier to row if there is wind coming from behind you? Do you find it difficult to ride a bicycle against the direction of the wind? You know that we have to fill air into the bicycle tube to keep it tight. Also, you know that a bicycle tube overfilled with air may burst. What is the air doing inside the tube? Discuss with your friend how the air in the bicycle tube keeps it in shape. All these experiences shows that air exerts pressure. It is due to this pressure that the leaves of trees, banners or flag flutter when the wind is blowing. You can list some more experiences which show that the air has pressure. Let us now try to explain why the can or the bottle get distorted. As water is poured over the can, some steam in the can condenses into water. So when you pour water over the can, the steam inside or the can will be condensed into water, reducing the amount of air inside. So the air presence inside the can is reduced. The pressure in the air inside the can decreases than the pressure exerted by the air outside the can. As a result, the can gets compressed. So the pressure outside is more, so it gets compressed. This activity again confirms that air exerts pressure. 8.2. High speed winds are accompanied by reduced air pressure. So we will do activity 8.2. Crumble a small piece of paper into a ball of size smaller than the mouth of an empty bottle. Hold the empty bottle on its side and place the paper ball just inside its mouth. So you put a small piece of paper crumbled inside the bottle. Now try to blow on the ball to force it into the bottle. Try the activity with bottles of different sizes. Challenge your friend if they can force the paper ball in by blowing into the bottle. Paili and Bujo are thinking about the following question. Why is it difficult to force the paper ball into the bottle? Activity 8.3. Take two balloons of approximately equal size. Put a little water into the balloons. Blow up both the balloons and tie each one to a string. Hang the balloons 8 to 10 cm apart on a cycle spoke or a stick. Blow in the space between the balloons. What did you expect? What happens? Try different ways of blowing on the balloons to see what happens. Activity 8.4. Can you blow and lift? Hold a strip of paper 20 cm long and 3 cm wide between your thumb and forefinger as shown in the figure 8.5. Now blow over the paper. So you can see in the 8.5 figure blowing over a strip of paper. Paili thinks that the strip will be lifted up. Bojo thinks that the strip will bend down. What do you think will happen to the paper? Let us try to understand the observations in activity 8.2, 8.3, 8.4. Where the observations along the line you thought. Do you get the feeling that the increased wind speed is accompanied by a reduced air pressure? When we blow into the mouth of the bottle, the air near the mouth has higher speed. This decreases the pressure there. The air pressure inside the bottle is higher than near the mouth. The air inside the bottle pushes the ball out. So the air inside the bottle will push the paper ball outside. In activity 8.3, you saw that when you blew between the balloons, they move towards each other. How could this happen? This could happen if the pressure of air between the balloons were somehow reduced. The pressure outside the balloons would then push them towards each other. So the pressure outside the balloon pushes them towards each other. In activity 8.4, you saw that when you blew over the paper strip, it went upwards. Again, this could happen if blowing over the paper reduced the air pressure above the strip. So we see that the increased wind speed is indeed accompanied by a reduced air pressure. So when the wind speed is increased, the air pressure is reduced. Can you imagine what would happen if high-speed winds blew over the roof of buildings? If the roofs were weak, they could be lifted and blown away. If you have any such experience, share it with your friend. Let us try to understand how winds are produced, how they bring rain, and how they can be destructive sometimes. You already know that when air moves, it is called wind. Air moves from the region where the air pressure is high to the region where pressure is low. So the air moves in where the air pressure is high to the low pressure air. The greater the difference in pressure, the faster the air moves. But how are the pressure difference created in nature? Is the difference in the temperature involved? The following activity will help you to understand this. 8.3, air expand on heating. Activity 8.5, take a boiling tube. Stretch a balloon tightly over the neck of the tube. You can use a tape to make it tight. Pour some hot water in the beaker. Insert the balloon tube with the boiling tube with the balloon in the hot water. Observe for 2-3 minutes for any change in shape of the balloon. Take the tube out. Let it cool down to the room temperature. Take some ice cold water in another beaker and place the tube with the balloon in cold water for 2-3 minutes. Observe the change in the shape of the balloon. Think and try to answer what makes the balloon inflated when the boiling tube is placed in hot water. Why is the same balloon deflated when it is kept in cold water? Can you infer from the first observation that air expands on heating? Can you now state what happened to the air in the boiling tube when it cools down? So you have seen here, we have put the balloon, the tube in boiling and in cold water. The next activity is very interesting. This will make you understand more about hot air. Activity 8.6. Take two paper bags or empty paper cups of the same size. Hang the two bags in the inverted position on the two end of the metal or wooden stick. Tie a piece of thread in the middle of the stick. So you have to tie it in the middle of the stick as in a balance. Put a burning candle below one of the bag as shown in the figure. So below one of the bag we have put a burning candle. Observe what happens. Why is the balance of the bag disturbed? Does the activity indicate that warm air rises up? As the warm air rises up, it pushes the bag above the candle. Does the disturbance of the balance suggest that the warm air is lighter than the cold air? Can you now explain why smoke always rises up? So it is very clear. Can you now explain why smoke always rises up? Also, it is important to remember that on heating, the air expands and occupies more space. So when we heat the air, it expands and it occupies more space. When the same thing occupies more space, it becomes lighter. The warm air is therefore lighter than cold air. That is the reason that the smoke goes up. In nature, there are several situations where warm air rises at place. The air pressure at that place is lowered. The cold air from the surrounding area rushes in to fill its place. This sets up convection in air, as you have learned in the chapter 4. Now we'll see wind currents are generated due to uneven heating on the earth. So wind currents are generated by uneven heating of the earth. These situations are: first, uneven heating between the equator and the poles. You might have learnt in geography that regions close to the equator gets maximum heat from the sun. So we all know that the air in this region get warm. The warm air rises and the cooler air from the region in the 0 to 30 degree latitude belt on either side of the equator moves in. These winds blow from north and the south towards the equator. So this wind will blow towards the equator from north and south. At the poles, the air is cooler than that at the latitudes about 60 degree. So at the poles, the air is cooler. The warm air at this latitude rises up, and the cold winds from the polar region rushes to take its place. In this way, wind circulation is set up from the poles to the warmer latitudes. You can see here the poles are coming, air is coming, and it is pushing to the equator. B. Uneven heating of land and water. You have read about the sea breeze and land breeze in chapter 4. In summer near the equator, the land warms up faster. So during summer season, the land warms up faster, and most of the time the temperature of the land is higher than that of water in the oceans. The air over the land gets heated and rises. This causes the wind to flow from the ocean towards the land. These are monsoon winds. The word monsoon is derived from the Arabic word mausam, which means season. In winter, the direction of the wind flow gets reversed. So in winter, the direction of winds get reversed. It flows from the land to the sea. I want to know what this wind do for us. The wind from the ocean carry water and bring rain. It is a part of water cycle. The monsoon wind carry water and it rains. Clouds bring rain and give us happiness. Farmers in our country depends mainly on rains for their harvest. There are many folk songs associated with the clouds and rains. Sing and enjoy with your friend. If you know such a song, here is one for you. But before that, there is a section here. I wonder why the winds shown in the figure are not in the exact north-south direction. The wind would have been flown in the north-south direction from north to south or from the south to north. A change in direction is however caused by the rotation of earth. So you can see here it is not in the same direction, but because of the rotation of the earth, it is happening like this. So here is a song about the rain. Roaring clouds across the sky tell us that monsoon's here. Dark and floating clouds then pour, raindrops everywhere. Clouds make lightning flash overhead and irrigate fields with rain. Clouds make earth its fragrance spread when wet with drops of rain. Rising from the ocean vast, clouds fill up with rain. Rain to ocean back at last to mingle with ocean again. So it is very nice. However, it is not always a happy ending. Rain often creates problem. Can you list some of the problem? You can discuss the cause and solution of the problem with your teacher and parents. In nature itself, there are certain situations that can sometimes create disaster and pose threat to human, animals and plant life. Let us study two such situations, thunderstorm and cyclone. 8.5 Thunderstorms and cyclones. Thunderstorms develop in hot, humid tropical areas like India very frequently. So thunderstorms are very common in India because it is hot, humid and tropical. The rising temperature produces strong upward rising winds. These winds carries water droplets upwards where they freeze and fall down again. The swift movement of the falling water droplet along with the rising air creates lightning and sound. It is this event that we call a thunderstorm. You will read about lightning in higher classes. If a storm is accompanied by lightning, we must take the following precaution. So when there is a storm with lightning, you should take some precautions. Do not take shelter under an isolated tree. If you are in a forest, take shelter under a small tree. Do not lie in the ground. Do not take shelter under an umbrella with a metallic end. Do not sit near a window. Open garages, store sheds, metal sheds are not safe places to take shelter. A car or a bus is the safe place to take shelter. If you are in water, get out and go inside a building. So you can do things like this when there is a storm with lightning. How a thunderstorm becomes a cyclone. You know that water requires heat when it changes from liquid to vapor state. Does the water give back heat when vapor condenses into liquid? Can you recall any experience to support this? So the structure of cyclone is given here. The center of a cyclone is a calm area. So the center of cyclone is calm area. It is called the eye of the storm. A large cyclone is a violently rotating mass of air in the atmosphere. So a cyclone is a violently rotating mass of air 10 to 15 kilometers high. So they are very high. The diameter of the eye varies from 10 to 30 kilometer. You can see in the figure 8.11. It is a region free of clouds and has light winds. Around this calm and clear eye, there is a cloud region of about 150 kilometer in size. In this region, there are high speed winds 150 to 250 kilometer per hour and thick clouds with heavy rain. Away from this region, the wind speed gradually decreases. The formation of a cyclone is a very complex process. A model of this is shown in figure 8.11. Before cloud formation, water takes up heat from the atmosphere to change into vapor. When water vapor changes back to liquid forms a raindrop, this heat is released to the atmosphere. The heat released to the atmosphere warms the air around. So when the heat is released from this warms the air around it. The air tends to rise and causes a drop in pressure. So when the air rises up, the pressure drops. More air rushes to the center of the storm. So the air rushes to the center of the storm. This cycle is repeated. The chain of event ends with the formation of a very low pressure system with very high speed wind revolving around it. So it is this weather condition that we call a cyclone. Factors like wind speed, wind direction, temperature and humidity contribute to the development of cyclone. So these are also give contribution to the cyclone like wind speed, wind direction, temperature and humidity. So you can see here, here is a formation of cyclone and you can see here there are hurricane winds and direction of the cyclone moving. The stream is flowing here and the air is flowing outside here, and here the air is rising and the air is flowing outside from this here. So this is called the eye of the cyclone. So you can also see the eye of the cyclone in figure 8.12 here. Rising water caused by a cyclone. So you can see in the during the cyclone the water is also risen in the sea. Destruction caused by cyclone. Cyclones can be very destructive. Strong wind push water towards the shore even if the storm is hundreds of kilometers away. So because of the strong winds, the water is pushed off to the shores if the cyclone is hundreds of kilometers away also. These are the first indication of an approaching cyclone. So when the strong winds push the water to the shore, this is the warning that the cyclone is approaching. The water waves produced by the wind are so powerful that a person cannot overcome them. So they are very powerful water waves. So a person cannot overcome them. The low pressure in the eye lifts the water surface in the center. So when the pressure is low in the eye, the water surface, it lifts the water surface in the center. The rising water may be as high as 3 to 12 meters high. So they are very high. In 8.13, it appears like a water wall move towards the shore. So the water will splash like a wall. As a result, the seawater enters the low-lying coastal areas. So because of this, the coastal areas get drowned by seawater, causing severe loss of life and property. It also reduces the fertility of the soil. So because of this water, the fertility of soil is also degraded. Continuous heavy rainfall may further worsen the flood situation. Since the water entered the low-lying coastal areas, and if there is continuous rainfall also, so a flood-like situation will be worsen. Moreover, it will be totally flooded. High-speed winds accompanying a cyclone can damage houses. So when there is a high-speed winds also, the houses will also be damaged. Telephones and other communication systems will also be destroyed, trees will be destroyed, and causing tremendous loss of life and property. A cyclone is known by different names in different parts of the world. It is called a hurricane in the American continent. In Japan, Philippines, it is called typhoon. So there are different names for cyclone. In American area, it is called hurricane, and in Japan and Philippines, it is called typhoon. So there is also a safety measure that you can take. So protecting from a tornado. The diameter of a tornado can be as small as a meter and as large as a kilometer, or even wider. So it can be very smaller, or it can be it can go larger to the extent of the kilometer. The funnel is a tornado sucks dust. So the funnel of the tornado sucks the dust, debris and everything nearby it at the base due to low pressure. So because there is low pressure, so everything will be attracted towards that and throw them out near the top. So everything revolves around it and throws at the top. Here are a few accounts of the survivors of tornado from Discovery Channel Young Discovery series. I saw the cloud coming and tried to take shelter inside, but as soon as I reached for the doorknob, the house took off in the sky. I was not hurt at all. After the storm, we had to clean the debris from the wheat field. We picked up splintered board and tree branches, as well as dead chickens with their feathers blown off, and rabbits looked like they had been skinned. A tornado shelter is a room situated deep inside or underground having no windows. So you have to shelter in a room situated deep inside or underground having no windows. Or otherwise it is better to shut windows and take shelter under a table, workbench where debris cannot reach. One has to go down on knees, protecting head and neck using arms. So as shown in the picture, you can do like this. Tornadoes in our country they are not very frequent. So tornadoes does not happen very frequently in India. A tornado is a dark funnel shaped cloud that reaches from the sky to the ground. Most of the tornadoes are weak. A violent tornado can travel at a speed of 300 km per hour. Tornadoes may form within the cyclone. So tornadoes may form within a cyclone also. The whole coastline of India is vulnerable to cyclones, particularly the east coast. So east coast is particularly vulnerable to cyclones. The west coast of India is less vulnerable to cyclonic storm both in terms of intensity and frequency of the cyclones. So 8.7 discusses about the effective safety measures. A cyclone forecast and warning services. So these are safety measures. Rapid communication of warning to the government agencies, the ports, fishermen, ships, and to the general public. Construction of cyclone shelters in the cyclone prone area and administrative arrangements for moving people fast to safer place. These are the safety measures that government can take. So here is the image of tornado. You can see here. So there is low pressure inside and everything is thrown out from the top. Action on the part of people. So what people can do? We should not ignore the warning issued by the meteorological department through TV, radio or newspaper. We should make necessary arrangements to shift the essential household goods, domestic animals and vehicles etc. to safer place. We should move these things. Avoid driving on road through standing water. When there is standing water, you should not drive the car as floods may have damaged the road. And keep ready the phone number of all emergency services like police, fire brigade and medical centers. Some precautions: if you are staying in a cyclone hit area, do not drink water that could be contaminated. So when there is you are in a place where cyclone is there, you should not drink the water which is contaminated. Always store drinking water for emergency. Do not touch wet switches and fallen power lines. Do not go out just for the sake of fun. Do not pressurize to reduce to the rescue force by making undue demands. So you should not pressure the rescue forces. Cooperate and help your neighbors and friends. We have learned that all storms are low pressure system. Wind speed plays an important role in the formation of storm. So the wind speed plays the most important role in the formation of the storm. It is therefore important to measure the wind speed. So we should know the wind speed. The instrument that measures the wind speed is called an anemometer. So anemometer is used. An anemometer for measuring the speed of wind. You can see it here. 8.8 Advanced technology has helped. These days we have better protected. In early part of the last century, coastal residents may have had less than a day to prepare or evacuate their homes for an oncoming cyclones. The world today is very different thanks to satellite and radars. A cyclone alert or cyclone watch is issued 48 hours in advance of any expected cyclone and a cyclone warning. So you have seen, like in old days they only had one day to move out, but today we have very nice technology with us. So with the help of satellites and radars, so you can now get the cyclone alert and cyclone watch before 48 hours. So that means 2 days in advance. So you can prepare for the cyclone. The message is broadcast every hour or half hour when a cyclone is nearer to the coast. Several national and international organizations cooperate to monitor the cyclone related disasters. So there are many organizations that cooperate to monitor cyclone related disaster. So this chapter is finished. We will see what we have learned so far. Air around us exerts pressure. Air expands on heating and contracts on cooling. Warm air rises up, whereas comparatively cooler air tends to sink towards the Earth's surface. As warm air rises, air pressure at the place is reduced. So when the warm air rises, the air pressure in that place is reduced and the cooler air moves in that place. The moving air is called the wind. Uneven heating on the earth is the main cause of wind movements. So uneven heating of the earth is the cause of wind movements. Wind carrying water vapor brings rain. High speed winds and air pressure difference can cause cyclones. So high speed wind and air pressure differences will cause a cyclone. It has become easier to monitor cyclones with the help of advanced technology like satellites and radars. Self-help is the best help. Therefore, it is better to plan in advance and be ready with defense against any approaching cyclone. The following flowchart will help you to understand the phenomenon that led to the formation of cloud and falling of rain and creation of storms and cyclone. So we will see the flowchart. So difference of temperature between two regions. So there are difference between two regions will cause said convection of air, said convection in air. Warm air rises creating a low pressure area. When the warm air is risen up, in that area the pressure decreases. Cool air converges to the low pressure area. So the cool pressure air will take place in that low pressure area. Warm air rises cool and the water vapors condenses to form cloud. So when the warm air rises, cools and it cools and the water vapor condenses to form clouds. The bigger water drops in the cloud falls to the ground as rain, hail or snow. Falling water droplets and rising air move vigorously to produce thunderstorm. So when falling water droplets and the rising air moves or touch each other, then there is thunderstorm. Under certain weather conditions, storms may develop into cyclones. So because of this, they may be developed into a cyclone. So here the chapter is finished, and we will study the next chapter in the next class. Thank you.